Welcome to the HoopSmack podcast. I'm your host tonight, Chris Willis, and with me we got Mr. Aaron Fong.
What's up?
And Mr. Dante Peterson. Welcome back, man.
Thank you. What up, world?
Shout out to Dante Delgado, Ben Abawachi, and Miles DeCaro. They couldn't make it tonight, but they're always here in spirit, so shout out to those guys. But we are still wrapping up the first round of the playoffs. Some teams have advanced. Philadelphia 76ers, a.k.a. Trust the Process. They wrapped up their series tonight. Looks like the Warriors are going to wrap up their series finally with the Spurs. They've already ruined my 16-0 prediction.
It's never going to happen.
Ruined it, man.
Well, clearly you can say that now.
Well, right.
With the damaged meniscus with Curry, it wasn't going to happen. Curry's a real MVP.
Whatever, hindsight, Warrior.
Right, he's a real MVP. People forget.
But we have some elimination games coming up. Boston won their game today against Milwaukee, so now they're up 3-2. Do you think they're going to close it out in Game 6?
I don't know what to make of this series besides it's hella green. I've been saying that.
That's it.
That's all I've been able to say.
Nothing of value other than this.
There's nothing.
How you both going to wear green on the same?
It's
same
just
game
a
day?
very environmentally friendly series. No, both teams have won on the road. Both teams have obviously lost on the road. So it's a toss-up. I mean, statistically, whoever wins Game 5 goes on like 75% of the time to win Game 6.
So crazy.
So by the numbers, right, it would make sense to put your money on the Celtics, but I really don't know. I really have no clue what to make of this series.
What do you think, Fong?
It's in Milwaukee, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
I don't know because
I mean, they should have lost Game 4. Milwaukee should have lost.
I know the Bucks are just not good. I mean, They have the best player. Well, can we even say? I guess he is 27.8 points. I was gonna say, is he even the best player in the series?
Between him and Jaylen Brown.
What was Tatum doing?
I don't know.
Jaylen Brown's doing 23.8, but
as far as performance wise, you could argue like it's between those two.
It's really. I don't know how the Celtics.
Speechless.
I know I am because I don't know how the Celtics are doing it without Kyrie and Hayward. It makes no sense. I mean, it does make sense because Brad Stevens is a phenomenal coach. Terry Rozier has been playing out of his mind, and then now everyone is seeing Tatum and Jaylen Brown, kind of step up and take it to the next level. I'm gonna assume because they look great. I thought they were going to be too young, but they're not afraid. I
wasn't worried about Brown because he did have that run last year where they went to the Eastern Conference Final. They did get smacked by the Cavs, but Tatum, I was wondering because he's a rookie, we don't know. But Brown, I figured he was going to take.
But Tatum's been great all year. I mean, he started out super hot, and then obviously he kind of cooled off because he hit the rookie wall a little bit. But now, he's been great. But I was been more surprised with Rozier. I did not think he could do what he's doing.
I think he's our next irrational confidence.
Yeah, and then Marcus Smart came back today. So he's gonna start wrecking some stuff already. I mean, Delhi's they gotta battle it out for the most.
Is that the Spider-Man meme? Those two. So.
Yeah, Delhi's probably a little bit better shooter than Marcus Smart, but I honestly do not know what's going on with this. I mean, I haven't watched too many of the games live just because they've always been like the early start time has been brutal.
They get the NBA TV.
because I think on the weekends then they play at like 10 on
Something
Sunday.
like
So I missed that. But most of them I DVR and watch, but I mean it just doesn't have the same
painful.
suspense.
It's a painful series to watch. I watched first game of the series, and with that, it was difficult to be able to depict what the theme of this series is going to look like because we saw good basketball from Boston and terrible basketball from Boston in the same game, as well as good basketball from Milwaukee and terrible basketball from Milwaukee in the same game. So it's like, at what point whoever wins the series is going to be who can sustain good basketball for a decent amount of time in any given game. And I don't know. we know why it's kind of a conundrum.
You said it's hard to watch. What do you mean by that? As far as like, did you have like a certain expectation for the series, and then
again, it was obviously going in. It was a letdown to find out, going into the playoffs that we weren't going to get Kyrie. We already knew we'd be out without Hayward, and then the way the chips fell with the seeding, I didn't anticipate seeing Milwaukee, draw the Celtics in the first round, and so. With the Celtics, we know what the hindrance is, right? They're missing essentially their 1 and 2 option, one of which they've been without all season. But Brad Stevens is a decent enough coach, a great enough coach, obviously, to put out a solid product. On the flip side of this series, you've got Milwaukee. Well, yes, they have Giannis, one of the top 5, top 6 players in the league, depending on who you're talking to. But as far as defined roles on the team, you don't really know who their second option is. Is it Middleton? Is it Jabari? Because he's just now getting back off injury. Henson and Thonmaker are kind of in and out. Is it Middleton or is it Bledsoe? But he came halfway through the season. There was turnover from the coaching perspective. So in a lot of ways, this team emulates the Cavs, but the Cavs have a freak in LeBron that can kind of make up for all these mishaps. And no pun intended, they have a freak as well in Giannis, but he's not LeBron. He's not as seasoned. He's not as polished. He's not in his 15th season and still showing ways to improve. So it's just difficult to watch because there's no fluidity on either side of the ball. And this is when we're supposed to be seeing people at their best, right? So we're supposed to be
when the level of play is supposed to
be the elevate and be the highest, correct?
I mean, like you said, Boston, they're dealing with injuries to their top 2 guys, so the expectations were lowered automatically, like at the start. The Bucks, what I guess moving forward, do you think happens with them? Because it's now this is the second year that they bounced out in the first round. Giannis. He's rising to be a top 5, top 10 guy. They have an interim coach right now, but they're probably going to get a new coach. Like what? I mean, if you had to forecast long, like what do you think is going to happen with this team? What do you think is going to happen with the Bucks moving forward, assuming they lose, this series?
I don't see much happening. They probably don't bring back Parker Jabari, just because he turned down. I think he was it 50-something million, and I don't see him getting anything bigger than that, but I don't see him coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I think Middleton's on a longer contract, but they really don't have any moves they can make. They kind of went all in this year with the Bledsoe trade.
Well, that's disgusting.
They're kind of stuck unless Giannis can develop a jump shot and see if he can take it to the next level. Because are we thinking he's already made it, or are we still thinking he's on the rise?
Who's this?
Giannis. Regardless of excluding his jumper.
23, 22?
Yeah. I'm not sure how old he is.
Essentially, are we saying has he hit his ceiling?
No, not that. I'm saying has he arrived as a franchise guy? Well, obviously he's a franchise guy. I don't know how to phrase this.
I think by default,
is he a huge difference maker? Can he carry a team to Eastern Conference Championship?
So to your question, I was thinking about this earlier in regards to what's the difference between Giannis and LeBron? Because I think LeBron is probably the closest player you could compare as far as being.
I would say the IQ and the passing.
Yeah, definitely the IQ.
IQ, obviously, right? Yeah. Passing, that's not necessarily a Giannis.
LeBron's
thing.
a better shooter,
and we all know the Achilles heel with the jumper, but in terms of being able to elevate a team, because LeBron has been able to do that since he touched the basketball court. And I think with Giannis, it has to do more so with system than anything, because LeBron didn't have a huge turnover of coaches. He stuck with pretty much the same coach with Mike Brown. Then he had Spoelstra, and now he has Tyronn Lue. Whereas
Giannis, see how he smooth over David Blatt like that? Just smooth.
Man, that was like for 2 months. Yeah. Like, come on. And LeBron was
to the finals.
LeBron was coaching that team.
Oh, he didn't win the title with them.
No, he unleashed Dellavedova in the finals.
But with Giannis, it's like he hasn't necessarily, under he's just touching his second contract money. So under his first contract, how many different coaches did he have to play for? He just, in a superstar year, quote unquote, this year, he had to deal with 2 different coaches. One that's an interim coach. Like, that's just like a fill-in spot. It sucks.
He only had 16 tonight too.
But as far as to answer your original question, I don't know where the Bucks are going because literally everyone on the team is under contract next year except for Jason Terry, who for some reason is getting heavy minutes in the playoffs, even though he's 47 years old.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird when you bring up that LeBron comparison because I think about that first run and I'm just like, they seem more talented than those Cavs, just the pieces that they have. And so it seems like they should have more success.
They're in an NBA that's more talented as well.
That's a good point. But I mean, still, those Cavs teams were pretty horrid.
To me, that sounds like coaching. It seems like they need.
It's just straight coaching.
They need a great coach to unlock them to get them to the next level. But I mean, looking at the pieces, I don't really see what's different between them and like say the Wizards, like. Strong top, well, I won't say strong top 5, but your starters are solid, but then everything else is kind of just
blah
guys, young guys, sort of.
Yeah, but do they have defined roles in Milwaukee compared to at least?
I think Milwaukee's
you really
trying to
count
do
on
that.
John Henson?
I think Milwaukee's just trying to do that positionless basketball where it's like it's supposed to be this free flowing, everybody switch, and. Not necessarily have the roles defined, but it doesn't work. Like I don't think that works at all. At least in this scenario.
Well, here's the problem with doing position.
And now it's like, okay, you watch Giannis work, but then once Giannis passes the ball, what are you other guys doing? Is Snell going to do something? Or
that's the problem.
What's Thon Maker? Like what?
You can't play positionless basketball with Thon Maker. That was going to be my point.
Like what?
Positionless basketball means
like
that you have to
Jabari thinks he's better than Giannis. So I don't. I think that just says it right there. Like your number 3rd or 4th guy thinks he's better than the clear number 1 guy, so it just doesn't make any sense.
But before, so I don't sound terrible, but I know Giannis is a franchise. I know he's a superstar, but I was just more thinking if he was ready to be on a pedestal like Curry, Harden, KD, and LeBron, where he alone can lift that team, and I haven't seen it yet, and I do
lift
think
it to what though? Because they are in the playoffs.
Yeah,
so I'm like, what?
At least the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, I don't see them getting there if he does not have.
So
a jump
you're
shot.
saying if he's like a top 5 guy, he should be able to get them to
yes,
at least.
I do.
That makes sense.
At least the Eastern Conference Finals.
That makes sense.
And win at least.
Especially in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I mean, just get there. But I do think it does hinge on a lot of coaching. But I do think it does boil down to that jumper because he basically has to play 18 and in, and he's not like anywhere. Even though he's playing point, he's not anywhere near as good as passer as LeBron. But then again, the Cavs are tailor made to LeBron's strengths, though. So he's just got shooters. And I mean, I don't think the Bucks really have a blueprint on how they even want to proceed, other than the positionless basketball that they tried to do. Mm-hmm. But my prediction, I think Bucks win 6, and then I think Boston takes it in 7, just because of the coaching advantage.
You just want that 7-game series.
It's gonna happen. I looked at the stats; they're all like almost the same.
I'm gonna say Boston in 6, just so we can stop the bleeding, because this series needs to end quickly. Like immediately.
I agree. Yeah. I want to see Boston play Philly.
I hate the early games too. I always miss the 4:00 games.
I'll say this about Giannis, and we can move on. Only because I touched on it in the text line earlier. Like Giannis has all the tools minus the jumper. We've talked about that, and he's even got numbers that show greatness. But it's the question of the effectiveness, and I think that's the difference between him and LeBron. Like you can see the impact that LeBron has on the game. And how it helps.
I think Giannis is also he needs to work on his feel for the game. So, like, I feel like he needs to identify those moments when he needs to assert his will.
Take
like,
over.
I don't think he does that well.
Right.
The more I watched him.
I feel like if...
So, like, he definitely, like... Because during the year, you see all the highlights. You see him dunking on people and all that stuff.
Right.
But as far as, like, when you start actually watching the game, you can see, like, he tries to do that whole I'm a force of nature the whole game, and it doesn't work out.
Right.
And it also affects his teammates because they don't, like you guys were saying earlier, the whole role thing, they don't know when they should be coming or going.
I've seen stints where Chris Middleton has kind of got hot.
Yeah.
And it's been like stifled with Giannis, going back to wanting to be a 7-foot point guard and dribbling through the lane and dunking on somebody. I've also seen him, kind of fade to the background, almost like a KD Westbrook type of scenario where he should have been more assertive.
Oh, Giannis,
yeah.
So he can disappear.
Yeah, exactly. And so that all stems from the effectiveness that he has on the game, which I don't think he has arrived yet. And if he's not...
So, like, an example of someone who actually doesn't do that is Embiid. Like, his effect it's always there. You always know where he's at. You always know how he's affecting the game.
Even if he doesn't have the ball, right?
Yeah.
So if he's not careful, this is Giannis. If he's not careful, he's gonna fall in the Joe Johnson side of history. If we recall what Joe Johnson was
harsh.
for the. Yeah. Hey, listen, Joe Johnson was the face of the Atlanta Hawks, but they did not get past the second round. If Giannis continues, he's on that trajectory where he's going to be the star franchise player of this team.
Joe Johnson was never thought of as a top 5 player, though.
He wasn't.
He got paid like one.
But he got paid like the best player in the league. He got paid more than LeBron that season.
Yeah.
And Giannis being put in that upper echelon of players will soon diminish. Those talks will get quiet if they continuously get knocked out in the first round.
Do you think he stays in Milwaukee for much longer?
Well,
say this happens next year.
He's there at least 4 years.
He's signed.
Well, players can demand trades.
I know. I'm going to say no. I think he leaves if they can't figure it out.
To the Warriors. Speaking of...
To the Clippers.
There you go.
With LeBron.
Speaking of, there is a series second round series that we do know, which is the Golden State Warriors and the New Orleans Pelicans. Steve Kerr has come out and said that Curry won't be playing for, I guess, a while. He didn't really give a timeline or anything, but it just sounds like he's going to miss 2 games. In my mind, that's when he talks that way. So, one, do you think the Pelicans can use that to possibly, I guess, scare the Warriors or even beat them, or do you think it won't even matter? I'm looking right at you, Fon. I don't know why you're looking at me.
This is not a reverse jinx. I fully believe that the Pelicans will grab at least 2 games, and they will make it difficult.
Will these be the 2 games Curry's not playing?
Yes.
So they win games 1 and 2 in Golden State.
I don't think Curry's back in 3. I think he's back in like 4 or 5. But we'll see. I mean, he's been working out, practicing. I saw him. They showed him shooting with a knee brace. I mean, I don't know, because that Houston series when he first got hurt and came back and I think he's averaged like 28 or something, and you're like, oh, he looks good, but he was not the same guy. I mean,
he came back against Portland first, right? He came back in
like 4-1 or just
because he came back in Game 4 and like scored 17 points.
I mean, you can be a spot up shooter with the sore knee, but that's not Curry's strength. That's not the Warriors' strength. It's Curry coming off screens and just causing the gravity of the defense to just move towards its side. That way, all the other back cuts can happen. It opens everything up for Clay.
So Warriors without Curry, you think the Pelicans handle them like they did the Blazers?
I think KD and Anthony Davis kind of neutralize each other. I
guess that was more of a question about Drew Holiday and Rondo. Do you think they're going to be able to do to the Warriors what they did with the Blazers?
I question Rondo because I don't know who he's going to be matched up with, but he's playing great.
Right.
He's got great chemistry going with AD. it seems like they just get 2 or 3 lobs all the time in the game. I don't know if that's just Portland's poor defense. But
they're probably able to get that against the Warriors.
Yeah, because I'm going to say, like, KD is probably not going to guard Davis that much until crunch time or those big moments. I fully believe, though, the Pelicans do have what it takes to at least grab 2 games and scare them.
So if in that scenario, say they win the first 2 games, does Curry just come back?
I think so. Curry's a competitor, and he wants another title. I think he rushes back, and he'll play at.
Do you think 70? That backfires?
Probably not.
Because the way you laid it out, it seems like, well, he's going to be a shell of himself. Maybe 70%. So
is a 70% Curry better than no Curry? I would probably say yes. I guess really it depends on who they. I haven't really thought about the matchups for like. Oh well, I guess the big one would be the Rockets because that's happening. But
you're just gonna take that one on the chin.
I've been taking all. I'm waiting for him
because it's gonna happen.
I've just been taking it all.
Just from a straight math standpoint, the Rockets will just outscore them without a Curry or with a 70% Curry. So I don't know. I don't know if they should wait till he gets to like 80, 90% or play him at 70. But if they drop 2 games, there will be panic. And I think Curry, he's like an elite competitor, like and all the other top guys.
What do you think
come
happened
back.
with the Spurs? It just seemed like they should have ran through them, and each game was a lot closer than I think people thought. And then so what would happen is like some spurt would happen, and then the Warriors would go up double digits. But I'm like, the Pelicans are playing a lot better than the Spurs. So, I mean, do the Warriors wake up?
What was it?
It seems like there's like that's still that malaise almost. Like,
what was it? That one game? Was it game 3 that they hit a ton of threes? That hit like 15. The Spurs. Or was it game
4?
4.
The one they won.
I actually thought so. I was reading Twitter, and a lot of people said that the Warriors' defense wasn't that good. I actually thought it wasn't that bad. It was just they were hitting crazy shots. I mean, literally, LaMarcus Aldridge had like a turnaround half spin, a high arcing banker, and then you had like
because the shot clock was about
and those are the kind of shots they were hitting all night. So, but it just seems like that just happens for the Spurs. I mean, if they had Kawhi, I guess it would probably have been a better series, but I don't know. I could not figure it out. I don't know if it's just because with no Curry, it's more offense is so dependent on KD to create stuff, and it's kind of just
Klay had a bad game too.
Yeah, I mean, Klay's not getting the same shots, and they're able to just press up on him. Because I mean, Klay doesn't create for himself, and you know he's usually the one that back cuts or is curling off pin down screens, with just tons of space.
That's why I think it's interesting because it's what Drew Holiday and Rondo were able to do to Dame and CJ, except for that last game. Like they can do that to Klay and
but they're 6'3" though. Klay's 6'7".
Yeah, but you can still stay in his pocket. Like it's not like the shots are going to be as easy, right? So it's going to be that matchup's going to be interesting. Like you said, the KD AD one is probably going to be a wash for the most part, unless AD is putting up like 40. Like KD's not doing that this playoffs.
I guess Mirotic would be the wild card then.
That's what I was going to bring up because I'm like he's the one that's elevated his play, which has made the Pelicans like
because Draymond. I'm guessing Draymond would probably guard him, and he can't help off of him.
Yeah, it also pulls Draymond out.
Yeah, so. It's gonna be in 6.
Good match.
It's gonna be
now that my 16-0 predictions out the window.
It will be close. I mean, for people to crown the Warriors as still the favorites, I don't believe it.
What do you think, Carl? What do you think? Shout out to our producer.
I think your 16-0 is screwed.
Most definitely.
I think the dream is over.
I mean, you have Harden lifestyles on the line. No, I'm just messing with you. But I mean, what do you think of the Pelicans? Just do you think they'll be able to keep up their level of play, or do you think this kind of? I don't know how many days have them been off now. It's going to be what 6 or 7.
I'm not going to buy into the rest and the days off because this isn't really an old team. AD is young. Drew Holiday.
Well, I mean, as far as like
for
the flow,
continuity.
yeah, exactly.
Well, first let's give credit where credit's due. I know I didn't see the Pelicans winning the series, let alone sweeping. I predicted Boston, Portland.
Shout out
in
to
6.
them for making me look stupid.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and rightfully so. They played well. Their game plan was definitely one that I feel like Coach Rondo had something to do with that. It was more Rondo than Alvin Gentry, but I'm not necessarily sold on him as a coach, but they are where they are. They're the only team still undefeated in the playoffs. So hats off to them. We're talking about the Warriors, okay? Defending champions. We're not about to just throw the baby out with the bathwater because Steph Curry's knee is hurt right now.
Yeah.
These guys can play. This is the same team that got everyone in an uproar last year because KD joined them after a 73-win season. We're not about to throw the baby out with the bathwater and become prisoners in the moment because AD has finally won some playoff games. Get the hell out of here. Okay? I say this respectfully. Get the hell out of here. We're talking about Kevin
Stop
Durant
throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
KD is.
I need a t-shirt.
KD is going to go 40-norty, possibly literally an average 40.
I don't know, man.
Possibly.
It's been looking okay. All right,
possibly.
go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
But in the same sense, AD is leading the league in scoring right now in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken.
He's one. LeBron's 2, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. So AD could possibly go for 40. But then again, AD is leading the league in scoring in the playoffs because he was going against Nurkic, who has now shown me that he's probably one of the softest big men in the league. I don't know if he's soft or if AD is just that dope or if it's a combination of both. But, hey, AD has always been good, but damn it, this is ridiculous. Somebody needs to figure out how to stop him. Do I think that he'll be stopped by the Golden State Warriors? No, he'll be contained. The Golden State Warriors are one of the better defensive teams in the league. Or are we throwing the baby out with the bathwater about that as well?
Well, for the AD part, their series, was it 2 years ago? Whenever they play in the playoffs, AD got his numbers there too.
He got his numbers, but they got swept.
Because the rest of the team. So I guess that's more of my, like, what's the rest of the team going to do?
Right.
I feel like we know what AD's going to do.
We know what AD's going to do. That's my point. AD's going to get his numbers. Mirotic, ever since he's cut off the beard, he's averaging like 24 points per game, and everyone's now got this mojo and the superstition.
You guys and your advanced stats.
And this superstition. But we got to remember who's going to be guarding.
That's not good. we have to show that graphic on the video, but that's not good at all.
So breaking news. Well, not breaking news, but that's stats. Basically, since 2012, 2013, including playoffs, head-to-head, Golden State versus Pelicans. 24 wins for the Warriors, 2 wins for the Pelicans.
God, throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Okay, so
that's rough.
Let's not forget about the.
There you go, 2 wins. I'm calling it, and I already called it. They're getting another 2.
Yeah, so. You're calling 2 wins in one series. They've had 2 wins in the past 5 years.
It's different. It's different.
It's also terrible teams.
Let's throw out the ADs and the KDs of the world because we know what they're going to do. It's all about the others, and the others for the Warriors are a whole lot better, in my opinion, than the others for the Pelicans. We're talking about the Etuan Moores of the world who are going to go up against the Iguodalas and the Sean Livingstons of the world. The Quinn Cooks who...
Those might be bad examples because they're not playing great.
They're not playing great.
I'm just saying. Like,
they're not playing great
like
right now.
I would seriously consider Etuan Moore.
You seriously going to consider present? His name is Etuan. First of all,
that should tell you how bad Iguodala and Livingston are playing.
Okay, but
I'm just saying. Like,
those are 2 players, but I still had my ace in the hole.
Oh, go ahead.
Quinn Cook he's on the roster for a reason.
Yeah.
JaVale McGee is going to be a whole lot different than your Ed Davises of the world and your Myers Leonards and
wow, we've reached that point where JaVale is now.
he's
I know.
difference maker.
He is,
Man.
right? Yeah, we're talking about the Warriors, and obviously I'm itching to get Steph Curry back on the floor because he's the reason why I'm a Warriors fan. But even without him, they can handle getting through the New Orleans Pelicans. We're asking the Pelicans to beat the Warriors 4 times to win.
I don't disagree with you at all, actually. But
Let's think about that for a second.
Just for the sake of argument.
Let's just think about that.
I said they would get two. They would get 2 wins. And
so you think they're going to get halfway to eliminating?
Yes.
Halfway.
Yes.
They're going to double the output of the Spurs.
I think it's a lot more interesting with Curry out the series. Like if Curry was healthy in here, no.
It all changes if Curry's back and he's healthy.
It's not.
They get 1 game.
They get 1 with a healthy Curry?
Yes.
Come on, man.
Oh my.
Because he's going to be rusty.
Well, now, yeah.
He's been shooting.
Hey, man.
Ever since he got
game
hurt.
Speed is completely different.
Oh, here we go with the game speed. His release is the same. There's no game speed for the release. His shooting
rusty. We're going to see some behind-the-back passes in the stands.
Okay. All right.
So the Warriors win by 11 instead
I'm telling you, though, man,
16.
it's going to be good. So they start on Saturday. So that's game 1.
I'm excited.
Okay.
I just can't believe how much you guys were just wanting to contemplate whether or not, more so you, Fawn, because I felt like you were trolling me, but it is what it is.
Well, I think it's more of just how the Warriors have looked more than anything. I think people's eye test
to their standard, they're not.
This is true.
So they just seem more vulnerable, I think.
And everybody's older.
But they've been playing possum all season, at least in my opinion.
That has actually been true.
This epic rest play.
Yeah,
playoffs came and they turned on the switch.
Right, and
but then it's it's the Spurs though. The Spurs are probably the worst playoff team.
I don't know about that.
Maybe them and Milwaukee are battling it out for worst teams.
Thus far.
True. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't help, shout out to Pop, dealing with the passing of his wife. That mattered. And I feel like the passing of Aaron Popovich honestly affected both sides of the series.
Absolutely,
I think the Warriors even played with a bit of a lull in those past 2 games. It's a series that I'm sure everyone is glad that it's over, whether you're a Spur or a Warrior in this. So I'm expecting a different Warriors team, and I'm expecting a game 1, game 2 Warriors team, not a game 4 or 5 type team.
Okay, I hope you're right. I mean, it's been rough. That's all I'm gonna say. It's been rough.
And game 3 when Steph Curry comes back. Man, oh man.
So if they Warriors do go up 2-0, do they just kind of hold off Curry then?
I would.
As a wild card?
I would.
Yeah.
When do you bring him back then? Do you panic if it's 2-1, 2-2?
No, even if it's 2-2, he should be good to go at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be how many months? A month?
That he's been out?
Yeah.
No, because it's been over a month already.
Really?
It'd be 2
Yeah.
at that point, right?
Because I think KD was out. Was he out 8 weeks?
Yeah, he was out 2 months. Then he came back at the end of the.
So if I'm the Warriors and I go up 0-2,
because he got injured in February,
and
then he came back in April. So.
Yep. If I'm the Warriors and we take care of home court, so game 1, game 2, we go to New Orleans. I sit them for game 3, and
bring him off the bench in game 4.
Bring him off the bench in game 4 if it's a potential closeout game. That's what I do.
Because I want him to get minutes before Houston.
Yep. Excuse me, what?
We got that. He said yep. He said yep.
I thought he said the Western Conference Finals. Just so you are aware, it will be the Utah Jazz representing the Western Conference.
Well, let's speak on it. The other side of the Western Conference bracket, Houston, they're up 3-1 on Minnesota. Utah, they're up 3-1 against Oklahoma City. I don't really want to talk about Oklahoma City too much, other than Paul George is probably going to leave.
Enjoying it.
I'm enjoying the destruction. It's just I don't want to talk about it too much. But, both of those teams looks like they're going to close out their series either in Game 5 or Game 6. Probably. No Game 7s, sir.
No.
So, I mean, Houston, Utah, what do you think's going to happen in that series? Utah's had, the best, or maybe number 2 defense since Gobert's been back. Their offense has also been top 5 since he's been back. So, Houston, I mean, it's legit comp. Like, it's not someone they're just going to walk through. So, I assume they're not going to walk through. Do you guys feel it's going to be that 7-game fight that's going to potentially, sabotage the Rockets against the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals?
It's funny you should say fight, because I literally foresee Jay Crowder and PJ Tucker wanting to go fisticuffs at some point in this series.
No way, they're too smart for that.
No, I mean, before we get to the potential matchup, the matchups that are still at hand, Minnesota.
No, those are done.
Praise to them that they extended their lives by a game. I thought they were going to get swept.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, I didn't expect it to be a 3-1 between Utah and Oklahoma City, and I certainly didn't think it would be in favor of Utah. But here we are. And I think the reason why we're in a position where Utah could potentially put the Thunder out is because the team seems to have that same grit, swagger, thirst, hunger, whatever you want to call it, that Westbrook usually plays with on a daily basis. And I think this is the first time we've seen a team that has that same type of energy that one player exudes game in, game out. And Westbrook, I don't think he's faced an opposition like this before, where everyone is just on full attack mode like he is. And instead of it being me against the world, it's like one whole team, literally. Donovan Mitchell is a gamer, and it's showing in this series. Ricky Rubio is a maestro, and it's showing. He's not fazed by anything.
Yeah, I think I mean, for me, it's more than one thing. So I think Westbrook's intensity is actually going against him in this series because it's making him lose focus on what he should be thinking about, which is getting the W. He has these personal, I don't want to say vendetta, but vendetta, against Rubio and a little bit against Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, so that's taking him out of the game plan. Paul George is doing Paul George things where he gets in these weird funks where he's just not effective. Melo's washed. There's nothing. There's no advanced stats to point to. It's just watch the game. He's just washed, man. And then Corey Brewer's not Roberson.
He's starting.
He's starting, and he's not Roberson. He's not able to take that top defensive assignment that's now also falling on Paul George, which I think is taking away some of his energy.
Yep.
So
Steven Adams has shrunk tremendously.
Yeah, that. I don't know, because he's a very important player to that team, and it's especially to Westbrook. Their chemistry, it drives their offense, and it's just I don't know what they're gonna do, because if Gobert and Favors is able to take out Adams, then Westbrook is
and be effective on the other side of the court.
Yeah, and then
Gobert is
Ingles is able to get all these open shots now. Donovan, like you said, he's a gamer. He's the best player in the series. Rubio, he's getting the confidence to shoot threes. What's that about? But anyway,
I don't know.
So with all that, right, encompassing all of what we talked about, they need to have that same energy, that same swagger coming into the next series, especially against the Houston Rockets, because the Houston Rockets are who they are. They haven't changed their game plan from a regular season to the playoffs. They're running their stuff. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. It's gonna be a Harden show with ISO. It's gonna be high pick and roll. Capella's gonna rim run, dive, and the ball's gonna move. Which
doesn't happen with OKC.
Right. If you do not have that same swagger defensively to close out on shooters, to secure the rebound, make sure that it's just one shot, one opportunity at the rim. You can't give them offensive rebounds or putbacks or any of that stuff, which is exactly what they're doing against Oklahoma City. Donovan Mitchell, he's going to get 30 against the Houston Rockets, because the Houston Rockets, who's going to stop him? James Harden?
Well, just is Maba Amute coming back anytime soon? Because I mean,
doubt it.
the Rockets
No.
have people to throw, or I take that back. They do not have somebody to throw at them.
Eric Gordon's gonna stop him.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
I was
I
like,
take
who's
that
going to
back.
stop
Yeah,
him?
I
Like,
take that back.
So we know
Because
that,
I'm like, it's what, Ariza
and PJ Tucker.
yeah, which is
They're not-
two more than
I don't think they're
the
fast
OKC
enough.
seems. So
They're not fast enough. I mean, it'll be interesting to see the Rubio versus Chris Paul matchup. That's going to be really fun to watch. Because like Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul's a little, he can get angry, a little headstrong. He approaches the game differently. But
yeah,
Rubio seems to just be unfazed by any of the noise coming from
he's
the
in
opposing.
Zen mode right now.
Yeah, it's just, I'm going to,
Surprised. I didn't think he would reach another level with his
I thought he played
with his game.
I want to be on the record that I was a Rubio fan and I never wavered. I thought
Are we sure? Do we need to go back to the tapes?
I loved him in Minnesota, and
I
I
feel like
could
we should
not.
hire an intern to go through.
And I could not understand why Tibbs did not like him. And once those trade rumors came out that they were trying to get rid of him, I was like, why? Like,
Yeah,
he's good. The only thing he was missing is a jumper. He's a solid defender, great passer,
yeah, he's an IQ guy.
great floor general. The only thing he was missing, he just cannot score. I don't know if he doesn't feel that pressure because he does have Donovan and Joe Ingles to pass to that they can kind of shoot. So he's kind of free to. He doesn't feel that pressure to I have to make
Ingles
this
also
jumper.
He's
The secondary. Yeah, he's a secondary playmaker.
ball handler. Yeah, so which I was surprised by, but anyway.
No, they've had him doing that for a couple years.
No, just looking at him, and he's not like
Just looking at how he's
necessarily-
big and burly, and
yeah,
slow.
like, it's just you wouldn't expect that, but
You don't have him walk in the gym and be like, "Oh, that's my point guard."
yeah,
It's probably just
right.
because he is like a solid 6'8" and
Can see over
and
the
can see, and
defensive stuff,
and he's just high IQ and just good passer. I mean that
yeah.
we see that all the time. When guys get experience, they see stuff a little quicker than most people. But no, I love Rubio, and I did not expect him to be able to. I mean, I didn't look up the percentages, but see what he's shooting. But he feels the confidence to shoot him because I think was last game he was like 1 for or 2 for 7 or something from 3. That's a lot of threes for Rubio.
And when he had 28, he was drilling a lot.
Yeah, he's been playing great. But I mean, I really hate watching the Rockets because I hate. So I think it's Haralabob Vulgaris on Twitter. He tweeted that he was impressed with the Rockets because it seems like they've figured out a glitch in the matrix and they're just exploiting that over and over and over again. And they stay with that focus, that philosophy. They never waver from it. Even when they're down like 15, 20, it's just like,
I
nope.
mean, well, you see what happens when it starts clicking.
Yeah,
you get 50 point
yeah, we're just like,
quarters,
we're
right?
just gonna keep running it. We're, in a way,
That
they're
was
trusting their
bananas.
own process, and they're just like, we're just gonna run these pick and rolls all the time, ISOs all the time, and I hate watching it because it's super boring. So it's either a James Harden step back 3, a layup, or a foul, or a kick out.
Or a kick out,
So that's
yeah.
pretty much it. I mean, it is in a way.
Or it's a missed layup with a
Capella,
offensive
yeah.
rebound, either
And
a
a kick
Capella
out.
and a kick out to a wide open PJ Tucker.
So
then you have to play defense for 30 seconds.
So that's why
instead
I was
of
talking about
24.
you should just stay home and let Harden score 60 and then make him play defense and pretty much push him to the brink of physical exhaustion. I want to say that's probably you could probably get away with it a couple games, or if you go later in the series, maybe that's a strategy. I would also like to see if they can try a zone. I wonder if that would work.
Not against
'Cause
a
I
team
think,
that shoots 47.
Right.
I wanna say
I think
the-
that just plays into what they want.
I want to say I thought the
so.
Warriors kind of threw the zone at him during the regular season at one point, if I remember correctly. But anyways, going back to the Bob Vulgaris tweet, it just made me think of it's kind of like the Madden money plays. They just keep running the same damn plays over and over again, and it's not fun to watch.
Yeah.
And that's when you throw the controller at the screen. But at this point, there's really nothing you can do.
Stop running the jumbo package.
I mean, you could probably just throw Harden in the stands or something. But I don't know. Hopefully, I'm really curious to see because I mean, your biggest reason for them not making it to the Eastern Conference Finals is because they've not done it in the past. Right?
No, yeah.
You said Chris Paul's never
the
made
two
it.
guys have flamed out.
Yeah, so
beforehand,
I'm really curious to see if that's a real thing or if it's just how the cards played out.
Right. I mean,
whether it's actual thing. I mean, because Chris Paul, he is such a fierce competitor, and I think he wants it so bad to the point where it messes up with his brain. Because easily he's one of the smartest players in NBA. You know, controls pace, changes speeds, just master of everything. He knows he's like the perfect point guard. He knows when he needs to pass to teammates. He knows when he needs to take over. But like we saw it in LA, is like when it's crunch time, it's like no, he's like freaking out and like I gotta grab this rebound. He's like we gotta score, and that just messes up all his his brain or decision making. So
the only difference now is he has the MVP.
Now he has someone that I would say is better than him, so he can kind of like I don't feel that pressure. Mm-hmm. And I do think Harden quit because of physical exhaustion. Maybe the speculation that he did have a concussion last year, that's why he seemed just kind of out of it. Maybe that explains Harden's thing. But yeah, now they're two elite alpha dogs. I really do think they are the favorites, and just from the sheer math.
For a championship or just for this upcoming
championship? Well, this is all pending Curry's health. It hinges on Steph Curry's meniscus, because Steph Curry is a top.
That's so goddamn.
He's a top.
Man, that baby is like abandoned. There is no more bath.
Poor bath water. It's just like that Flint, Michigan water.
Come on, man, math major. 3 is worth more than 2.
We gotta cut that out.
Come on, math major.
What's that?
3 is worth more than 2.
You don't need a math major for that.
It's hard to argue that. And they take so many damn threes, and they shoot so many damn free throws.
It took like 50 plus threes. 2 of these games, I think, right? So
it's annoying. So that's why I kind of want them to lose, because I don't want people to emulate this process, this style.
It'll get stale.
Well,
it's just the D'Antoni.
7 seconds or less was so much more fun than this, though.
Well, because Steve Nash.
Well, that too.
My
Canadian hero. But
I mean, the general concept of it, it's still
in
similar.
A way.
You just have different players running it.
I wonder if their pace is really that much faster though. It just more seems it's like they're after inefficiency. Well, I guess efficiencies and
I don't know about pace. It just seems like they hunt the same shots.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
7 seconds or less was literally let's just inbound it and run down court and score.
Yeah, like that's.
We're just gonna outscore you. Plain and simple, but this is more calculated and
well, it's threes and layups.
Yeah,
what I do need,
that's why I don't want it to succeed.
But so I was like, is Chris Paul taking mid-range jumpers? Is that allowed?
So I get why people, old heads, can hate on the new school basketball because, yeah, if this is successful, we're gonna just see even more of it. Emulation.
But not as successful because you don't have the talent to.
That they're gonna people are gonna try.
I don't see how that's any different.
Copycat league. If it works, right?
You saw the Warriors. It worked, so then people try to
basketball.
Trying to get,
and then you get the Milwaukee's of the world.
Yeah, it's easier said than done.
And then Devin Booker gets stuck in Phoenix.
My long-winded talk.
No, it's fine. If the Houston Rockets make it to the Western Conference Finals, we know.
Do you know which colorway you're getting?
I notice you're all wearing all red too. It's on camera, so might as well just throw a Rockets emblem on.
And
that.
I'm wearing.
Yeah, Carl, add the Houston Rockets logo to his stuff in post.
And I'm wearing gray jeans to boot. This is stupid.
I made Adidas discount code?
I made that bet. Please get me to the Adidas store. Adidas, send me some lifestyles, just in case. No, I made the bet before the season. Hindsight's 2020. If someone made the bet with me right now, would I make it? Probably not. But I still hold on to. I'm a man of my word. I believe that they're not going to make it, and there's still holes in this team, even though they are the number 1 team in the league and obviously have the MVP in James Harden. James Harden is my MVP this season, so I can say this with confidence. I need the refs to step up and count to 3 when he steps on the basketball court. If he picks up the ball and takes 3 steps, call travel. It's really not all that hard. I watched this man take 4 step-back steps to get into a 3, and no one called it, and then he drilled it. And Reggie Miller said specifically, look at the footwork.
Yeah.
Do we want to go down the conspiracy theory road of it's kind of like the NFL where more offense is better? Or do you think it's just too hard?
Like this is an NBA mandate?
No, it's kind of like we'll just overlook it, and we're more worried about
it's overlooked
contact above the body, because that seems like why they're missing it is because they're always looking up and they're looking at.
So both of you
contact.
think it's actual travel?
Yes.
Like
by
the book.
Yes.
By the book, it is unequivocally. If you can't count to 3, then you should not be able to ref. And the fact that we have people not just
but the argument is when you start your count, right?
After you stop, this man
should be on the gather.
But go ahead. Because it's people's definition of gather is what's causing this issue.
Yeah.
So it's like if he's like when he's doing his step back, and like before he pulls the ball to his 2 hands, he's already done his jump, his jump step.
Yeah.
And then he launches it to his shot. So people will say that's just the 2 steps and it's not a travel. So it's about what you consider the gather. So you consider the gather when the ball just comes up and he stops dribbling, right? So that's 3-4 steps sometimes in Harden's case. LeBron is like 7 or 8. What do you think? What is gather for you? Your definition?
Same. It's when he picks up the ball and is getting ready in the shooting motion. But so his one step is one step, but then he does. The thing is he does the toe tap. Yeah. So as a shooter, when you do square up, from what I remember back in the days, a lot of guys would take a little hop to just literally square up to the basket, and so that in a way is kind of like Harden's step back. So that's why I can see why they would not consider that 2 steps. Yeah.
But then he takes another.
I know.
Yeah. And here's my problem with this, because it sounds like
But they never call it. Yeah, there are definitely some where he travels, but they never call it.
They never call it.
But they don't call a lot of traveling, though.
They don't.
Yeah, they don't.
And that's been an issue since LeBron.
But we're talking about the Harden step back.
Right.
This has become like a.
But no, here's my issue.
The logo of this movement.
We're not gonna make it a witch hunt on Harden, but because he has taken advantage of the fact that they don't call it, it's almost like he's daring to be called for travel because he takes such blatant step.
Why
back.
not? I mean, why not?
You're not gonna call it like he has now done.
Play to the line.
He's done step backs. He's done side steps after gathers. Like, it's not hard to count 2-3.
He's a habitual line stepper.
It's not like he's Covington. It's not like that.
That one was funny. That was funny.
Yeah. It's all. Was it Jacoby that was saying that? Sometimes it's like the look of the move. It's if it looks right, like don't call it. But if it looks like an obvious foul or violation,
it's crazy because I mean you see the breakaway dunks where literally guys grab the ball at the 3-point line and take 4 steps.
Clearly you take
and they never call it, and it's clear to everybody.
Right, and in those same instances. Like, I'm not like such the stickler of the rule where it's like you have to get every call right. But when it's so blatant, like why not? Why not have some integrity for the game? Now, in a sense of a breakaway dunk, there's no defender. It's kind of like
we call it traveling Lance.
You're
you're
gonna get the ball.
He's not Russ.
But
right?
if I'm defending you, right, and we all have played basketball to a certain degree,
he's gaining advantage.
That's an advantage because basketball is such a rhythm game. If I know that you're gonna take 1-2, boom, you're done. And I go to close out on you, and then you get to take 2 more step backs, and then I get called for a freaking foul on the 3-point shot because I've now come up in your airspace when it wasn't any airspace you were supposed to have in the first damn place. I'm pissed off as a defender. Why the hell are you calling a foul on me and then sending this dude to the free throw line for 3? I hate what's happening in the game because...
he also does the ones where he hooks people's arms too when he shoots.
I mean, him baiting people to foul, that's more
different.
That's different.
No, the ones where he drives to the hole and then he swings his arm and grabs and hooks guys' arms.
That's for the foul call,
and
man.
then he snaps his neck back.
That's like KD's rip. rip-through move before just to get the call.
And for me, it's a rhythm thing.
Harden rules.
We
Right.
already don't have hand
The
checking
Harden
like
rules.
we had in the '90s, right? To boost up offense, like the conspiracy theory.
Hand checking was whack.
Hand checking was not whack. It
was
was real
whack.
defense.
No,
As
someone that
played basketball last Saturday and was getting hand checked, hand checking is whack.
It's whack. It means you can't play defense.
I was
So
like, man, am I this washed? I can't dribble past these guys. And I was like, oh, I got all these scratches on my arm, so
I'm just gonna direct you to
Yeah,
a certain
they're pretty
part of
much
the
like-
court. Like that's not.
getting
Anyway, go
treated
ahead.
like an offensive lineman.
Listen,
I know I'm hitting on
Yeah.
the Jordan era here with the hand checking. But
Listen.
anyway, go ahead.
it's one thing to take away hand checking. Now they're taking away the ability to be able to time your moves because you now have get out of jail free card with 3 extra step back spaces. It's like you went to community chess and it said take 3 steps back, and I was expecting you to take 1 or 2.
So what do you think should happen with that?
I think that the whistle should blow. It's really
So you
not
think
that
they
hard.
should start just enforcing
I think
the
there's-
rule
I think
black and white?
It's the same thing that happened with the carry. Like sometimes they call it, sometimes they don't. With KD, he carries every time.
Yeah,
he
and this
makes
crossover.
His
Yeah.
crossover is stupid carry, and it's like,
Yeah.
dude, you're already 7 feet tall. What type of advantage do you need where you have to carry?
Yeah.
And I don't mean to single out KD in this instance because everyone carries, but
To demonstrate your point, yeah. No, I mean I get it. Yeah.
it's crazy.
Well, that's
Like,
always
it's crazy.
been one of my biggest frustrations. Is just like the inconsistency with the refs. They kind of just pick and
You
choose.
guys think
what
it
they
makes a
call.
better product?
No,
Like,
No.
would you watch that and be like, okay, now this is what I want to see? Just,
no.
I know. Well, I think things certain things drive behavior. If you are constantly, aware that you could get called for carrying or traveling, you may not do those things. Right. That's the whole reason why the rules are in place.
No,
Right.
stop
But-
calling the flopping too.
But if you
They stop
carry,
finding Floppy?
Yeah.
yeah,
Weird.
Remember they used to post who got
I
fined
thought
for
they were still
flopping.
doing it, but
No,
anyway,
They
yeah.
haven't
No,
done
they
it
stopped.
in
They
so,
stopped.
like
That's
over
like
a
free
year.
money.
Yeah, I know.
They're flopping every game anyway.
right. I mean, what's 5,000 to me when I'm making, But if I can't play my game the way I want to, right? I think the rules drive behavior. So enforcing those rules will drive behavior. If you notice in games where it gets really chippy and technical fouls get called a little bit quicker, like it has been in the OKC Utah series, people stop talking.
Mm-hmm.
These double technicals get thrown real easily. Okay, I'm going to chill out because I don't want the second one. The rules drive behavior, but you have to enforce the rules in order to drive that behavior. If I know that you're going to let me get away with 4 steps.
Spoken like a dad.
Damn right. Goddamn right. I got 2 boys and 1 on the way, and I enforce the rules.
Spoken like a dad.
I enforce the rules. It just makes me mad because, again, this is a rhythm type game. The basketball is a free-flowing rhythm game. It's not baseball. It's not one play set up and do it over again like football. It's a free-flowing game. And if I am anticipating based off of all the film study that I've done and this, that, and the third, and James Harden likes to go to his left, and I see you go to your left and you go to your right, but you've gathered and picked up the damn ball and you take 4 steps to the right to get free. I'm looking at the ref like, why the hell is he shooting instead of me getting the ball out of bounds, side out of bounds, so we can get down the court? Like, that type of stuff to me is what's going to kill the game because everyone's going to start doing it. And then what's the point in even having rules? Why don't we just play football and run the ball down the court? Why even run plays? Like, let's just play football and basketball all at the same time. It's stupid.
So you buying the Harden lifestyles or not?
No, I'm not buying them because Utah is going to take me to the promised land.
And how many games?
Utah winning 6.
Wow. That's a confident pick.
I think I'm leaning towards Houston in 6.
Yeah, I
It
got
will be.
Rockets in 6. Assuming, they close these series out.
They will.
I don't want to be that guy, so just
I will.
assuming
I
they close it
will
out.
bask in the joy of OKC losing in 5.
That's pretty funny. On their home on their court, that's pretty funny.
Actually, they probably win. I think Russ goes for like 40.
I think Paul George
Yeah.
Has another
Gross.
playoff P game
yeah.
despite washed Melo.
Disclaimer: don't ever
Washed.
give yourself a nickname.
Washed. What? Kobe did it.
Yeah, that's true.
He's one of Allen Iverson's top 3 players.
But yeah, I do. It will be an interesting matchup because I'm personally not shocked by the success of the Jazz because I actually thought they were really good this year. I watched a couple of games. Yeah, good defense, great coaching.
Well, they weren't good early on.
They had the bad first half.
Yeah.
When they went on this crazy streak, I think
when Gobert came back.
Yeah,
they were like 30-8.
It was like that. Yeah, it was something crazy.
Yeah.
And when they gave Donovan Mitchell the keys for real.
So that's probably the impressive thing is Donovan's doing this as a rookie. But yeah, it's gonna be a good matchup.
Are you guys comfortable with the Wade comparisons for Mitchell?
It's so hard because he's got a jumper. But Wade young Wade was. I give him credit. He was.
What are you gonna say?
No, I respect him. I don't hate him on like a Kobe level. I just hate that he stole a title from the Mavericks and Dirk.
There it is.
Yeah, that still hurts. Because I also hate refs too.
12 years ago.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
And still the whole up fake.
But anyway, as far as the talent and skill level, like
I can see the comparisons. I think it's
Wade was more explosive though, right? A more explosive athlete to me. Which is crazy because Donovan was freaking dunk champion.
Yeah, see, I don't even know if that's the case. I could argue. We could argue that Donovan is
it's just
more
it's just because Donovan's just so skilled. And it to me, from my memory,
but so was Wade. But not
Wade was like explosive athlete, like.
I think the other thing is this is Donovan's rookie season. Like I don't remember Wade being this good his rookie season.
Well, remember his rookie season.
Like it took him the next year after that.
He had that game-winning, that playoff game against New Orleans. His rookie season because he took him to the playoffs his rookie year. That was kind of his coming out party, so to speak. But to your point, it wasn't as polarizing as Donovan Mitchell. I think Donovan Mitchell also has the kind of the coming out of nowhere story similar to like a Dame, where no one could have predicted that he would be having the season that he had. Whereas, D Wade came from Marquette, top 4 pick.
Went to the Final Four that year.
Yeah, that sort of thing. So, but as far as just eye test on how they played, rookie Wade and obviously Donovan Mitchell as a rookie, I could see the similarities, but I honestly don't know. I feel like it's an unfair comparison, but I can't tell who I feel it's unfair towards. Is that unfair to Dwayne Wade or is that unfair to Donovan Mitchell? I can't really tell.
Well, I think if anything, you're just kind of like projecting like he can be that type of guy because
I guess
the conversation with Wade was like he's a top guy, like he in history. Right, so that's his kind of like conversation.
I don't even remember any comparisons that he had when he was coming up.
I don't
There's really no one to compare him to.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think it's. I think it's more like we can see Donovan Mitchell reaching that level.
I would say let's slow down for his sake and let's let him cook.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, let's stay in the moment, just like with Ben Simmons. Like, relax with the LeBron stuff.
Right? Can he just get through a season?
Yeah. Like that's okay. Yeah, they both are great passers,
right?
IQ and stuff, but come on,
they're both tall. We get it.
Like LeBron's gonna be like a top 3 guy at the end of it. Like, let's relax. Right. But anyway.
He's drafted what, 13?
Donovan?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just know the Pistons did not select him when they could have.
So
they drafted a Duke guy.
I got a tangent here.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing that's been bugging me because of the Mitchell success is like a lot of people are saying like, oh my God, like. Well, I guess I could look it up, but they're just saying like, X amount of teams pass on Donovan. They just completely whiffed. It's just like, no, the Jazz won the lottery by striking Donovan. Like it's a glass half full type thing. Like
sure.
No, like my thing is like nobody foresaw this coming. Like he did not do any of this stuff at Louisville.
Hey, hindsight's 2020. All right?
I know, but
I can say with full conviction. That Detroit missed out.
I know. It's just so annoying because people are just like, oh, I can't believe, can you imagine if the Sixers drafted Donovan Mitchell? Like, nobody would have had Donovan Mitchell
Okafor and they drafted
scheduled first or projected first. So that's kind of just the things that kind of annoy me is just like, is this hindsight type talk like, oh, I can't believe nobody saw this. It's just like, or the same thing with Giannis is like, yeah, How are we supposed to see?
Yeah, nobody.
Who would have projected that this guy would have
Right.
grown like an extra 3 inches, and he
Right.
was playing at like in Greece and like a gym middle of nowhere with like 8th graders. Like nobody,
Right.
unless you went over there and overseas. But yeah, all credit to Mitchell because he's busted his ass to be where he is
Right.
now, and he's
Absolutely.
phenomenal.
Right. He took the job from Rodney Hood, got him
yeah.
traded out of Utah.
got him.
Yeah, they were easily ready to.
Yeah,
get
we're
rid of
good.
him at
Right.
that
We're
point.
good. Go ahead and pack your skis.
Right. Snatched the keys. Right. Like Donovan Mitchell's story is, I see why people are quick to want to tout him as the rookie of the year and kind of, throw Ben Simmons to the wayside. I like the controversy around the whole red shirt rookie type controversy and Donovan Mitchell trolling him through sweatshirts and things of that nature.
From Adidas, makers of Harden lifestyle.
Trolling continues.
It continues.
But let's not.
That's going to be a tough.
It's not tough for me because
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how the voting comes out. Maybe that's a better way to put it. Not
Right.
interesting because I would pick Ben Simmons, but I'm wondering like what the voting.
I'm questioning whether or not any of this first round performance is going to bleed into the swaying of decisions because the voting has.
Well, the votes already.
The votes already
Yeah.
happened.
Did they already have to put them in before the playoffs started?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Or was that just the All NBA stuff?
I think it's all
It's all of
awards. It's just
All of
one
it?
ballot.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I know I heard Doris talking about her votes. Shout out to Doris Burke for even putting on wax who she voted for MVP and in what order. That was dope because most people normally hold that close to the chest. But the storylines between Donovan Mitchell and Ben Simmons, the storyline with Donovan Mitchell, we've spoken. No one could have predicted this, and that's kind of more polarizing than Ben Simmons, who was touted coming out of
one.
Yeah,
The next chosen
exactly.
one. Yeah.
Coming out of LSU, and then we had to wait a year, and now this expectation is he even going to be good because apparently if you sit out a year, then you're going to be trash. Markelle Fultz and Ben Simmons and even Joel Embiid for the past 2 seasons. So it's still Ben Simmons because his whole body of work is unmatched. But Donovan Mitchell, man, if he came in any other rookie season, could we have gotten Donovan Mitchell last year? Because really, like, Malcolm
Or you
Brogdon-
mean Simmons could have just played last year too,
Right.
taking Brogdon's
but
rookie
he was,
of the year.
but he was hurt. So it's
Oh
like,
yeah. So speaking of the process, we're going to talk about it.
As far as what? Like, what do you mean? Them closing out?
Yeah, and who they play or what?
Well, I mean, they're going to play Boston, right? I think we picked.
we picked Boston.
Well,
Well,
we all picked Boston. So
yeah, you just picked Boston in 7. You
Yeah.
both picked Boston in 6.
I don't know. We're not going to talk about the process. You guys don't
what do you want
trust
to talk about, man? You bring it up.
No, they've been great. I hope the Sixers make the finals. I don't think they will.
I don't know, man.
I still like the Raptors.
I know we haven't gotten to these 2-2 series, but it's looking shaky.
What,
in
the Sixers
Ohio.
not going to make it?
No,
Oh.
as far as them making it to the finals, like I'd be hard pressed to pick this Cleveland Cavaliers right now.
Oh, I wouldn't pick the Cavs because LeBron. Okay, we're gonna go into the Cavs now.
I think we should start talking about those series because I mean,
We
Yeah.
have to. We kind of have
Washington
to.
and Toronto, they're tied up 2-2 now.
Well, let's keep it brief then, because I think
Because neither team has won on the other's home floor, right? They just pretty much
who,
did.
which one?
Toronto, Washington.
Toronto, yeah, it was all home game wins.
Like no one's
Yes.
won on the road yet, right? So, I don't know. It's back to that same question with Toronto. Like, how come they can't elevate and be consistent with it?
Because they're Toronto. I mean, let's not.
Like
Let's,
we have to remember this is
I
a
will say
1-8
I will say
matchup,
Tay is actually kind of right because listening to the post game interviews, they were saying that like DeRozan was like, we are losing, and they said he was pressing and forcing up shots that he wouldn't normally take, and I think even Lowry said the same thing. I think they definitely feel the pressure of being I think the 1 seed, they're the 1 seed, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which makes this weirder because it's just like this is a 1-8 matchup. Why are you guys even?
Then again, Well, I guess the Wizards played better without John Wall. But But no, I mean the Wizards. God, they're such a Jekyll and Hyde.
So we're pretty confident about that. The Wizards play better without John Wall.
Well, they did when he was out. I'm not saying.
Yeah, but it's not like they played that way that whole time he was out. Like they regressed back to the mean.
Yeah, they fell down to the 8th seed, right? Because at one point they were the 3rd seed. How high was Washington?
I don't know how high they were.
At some point in the season, they were.
I think people were more focused on what the hell's going on with Cleveland,
right?
Yeah.
And then Philly started to rise to it the same time frame. So,
but I mean, the Wizards. I actually like the Wizards starting 5. I think they have a solid group.
Of course you do. But continue.
Brad Beal, finally stepping up.
No, I'll admit he's good.
Finally,
he's good.
But I do like Otto Porter.
I stick by my story though, as far as him being a top one. I feel like he needs to be the 3rd best player.
He could be your 2nd best.
Who's your first guy?
What, on the Wizards?
Just in general, like who's your first guy if he's the 2nd best on your championship team? That's what I like. I don't know.
I would probably think of him more of a wing, like a PG maybe. Even though I don't really consider PG a number 1, but I think they're like B+ type players. If you have 2 B+,
I feel like
solid.
I feel like that's a Spider-Man meme.
You'd rather have 2 B+ than 1 A.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you're whatever your point was
train
going to
of
be.
thought. But no, I like the Wizards. I guess it's really just their success really does kind of just hinge on John Wall and what John Wall shows up.
So I have a question.
You think
you say you like the Wizards? Why?
No, because they're starting 5.
Nice.
I like their starting 5
Why would
over
you do that
the
to
Raptors.
yourself?
But I like the Raptors more because
so this isn't a vacuum. This is not overall you like the Wizards. You like the Wizards because they're going against.
Their starting 5's not terrible.
Do we know that for sure?
Carl, we need numbers.
I mean, they're the Clippers East. They don't have any bet.
No,
they don't
I think
have a
that's
bench.
been the general consensus. Though.
Yeah.
It's like, once they
you can't have those guys playing 42. John Wall and Brad Beal carrying the load for 42 minutes. I just don't think this era. It's not like the 90s. I don't think you can take plays off. I think every night it's a challenge. And
so Jordan was overrated. Is that what you're saying? Is that where we're going? We get that on tape. So.
Well, now we have video, so we can see that.
I'm just using the evidence that was given to me.
No, I mean, I just don't think you can. I don't think you can physically play at a high level for over 40 minutes, regardless of who you are. I think you have to pace yourself, or just have a super deep team. So that's kind of why. That's kind of why I like the Raptors, because I think they can play at least 8 guys, 9 guys, and kind of keep things together.
So why are the Raptors and the Wizards struggling to beat one another if depth is?
Because I don't think Lowry is a all-star level type player, and DeRozan is more like a B+ type guy. I think DeRozan is. I do like him. I think he's really good, but I just don't think their top dogs are as good as Beal and Wall.
Got it.
So really, I think it hinges on the support guys of the Raptors to edge them over. But I'm still riding with the Drakes. So hopefully the bench shows up. I mean, is the next game a home game?
The next
For
game
Toronto?
yeah.
The next game.
So I think they take that.
Toronto,
So speaking of that,
tomorrow.
I'm wondering if that Van Fleet, is that his name?
Van Vliet.
Fred VanVleet.
Yeah.
Is he back?
I don't think he's
Has he
back
played?
yet. So
No.
he got injured,
bruised
right?
shoulder.
Yeah.
So
Damn.
because he's like one of their top bench guys. Like he was one of the ones that made that unit go. So I'm wondering if
Damn,
that's going to present a bigger issue than we probably think, because he is like a bench guy. Because like you said,
that's actually a really good point. Yeah.
Because I think you hit the nail on, or you hit a good point with the Lowry part. Because like you were just saying, you can't play guys 40 minutes or whatever and expect them to be, effective. Now that guy's not there, what happens with the Raptors? Does KC panic? Does he kind of go back to shorter rotation? Like what? Does he stagger those guys? Like what?
I think you have to, but really, it really hinges on Lowry. Lowry just has to show up and hit shots, plain and simple.
Well, if you're saying that, then
yeah, I know that's why.
Like that doesn't.
I think you're right
well.
with having Van Vliet in there. He kind of did provide them a spark when Lowry's out. But yeah, if he's out still, it's going to be tough for the Raptors because I think they do feel all this pressure. I think they do.
You think you're starting to build?
I do. Yeah, I think they do read headlines. They follow social media.
So they're kind of set up to lose tomorrow.
No.
Well, I mean,
They're
this is
playing at
like what was the stat? Like 75% of Game 5 winners go on to win the series. So like this is kind of important for them.
Yeah.
Just from a mental.
Well, they
standpoint.
just can't lose a home game either.
Yeah, this is what I was gonna say regarding that, and I'm glad you touched on it. So this is a home game for Toronto. We know, based on the numbers, about 75% of the time you win Game 5, you win the series. This is a Game 7 for Toronto. And
I thought Game 1 was their Game 7.
The only reason why I say that is because they said that Game 1 was a Game 7.
That's why I think they feel it.
Yeah, they put all this pressure on themselves that they really should not have done. And so we've got Kyle Lowry, to me, is kind of playing a little tight. And I don't know if that's a great way to describe how he always plays, but it just seems like he's a little bit.
Do you have the stats? Because I mean, I've seen 2 games where it's like, oh, it's wishy-washy.
Yeah, this
Lowry,
is
but like,
so. This is when I say tight, I'm just talking eye test, just the way he's been playing.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert in regards to what his postseason stats look like, or any of Toronto's postseason stats for that matter, besides Valanciunas like leading the league in field goal percentage at like 73% or something like that. But random stat that I just came across today. I know. It's
that
terrible.
is pretty random.
Yeah, I know.
I don't even know what you were doing like for that to pop up.
Yeah, it was a dark time in my day.
That's pretty funny.
But I don't pay too much attention to Toronto on purpose because of reasons I feel like they are counterfeit. Them having a number 1 seed is a feel-good story for them. I don't care. Show me something in the playoffs. And right now, you are showing me exactly what I expect, which is you can win some games and you can certainly lose some games. So tomorrow, for me, is a Game 7 in regards to Toronto. Not so much the Wizards, even though, like I said, 75% of the time when you win Game 5, you win the series. I just think the pressure is on Toronto, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they're the first home team to give up a loss on their home floor. With that said, a 1 may lose to an 8 for the first time since Golden State and Dallas.
The only thing I can think of is Sonics Nuggets.
No.
Yeah,
comes to mind.
Dikembe Mutombo immediately came to my head.
Or was that a
bird.
2-7? Was that a 2-7?
That was a
The
1-8.
Sonics one? That was
No. I know the Sonics one was a 1-8. Was the
No, because that's the year they won 67 games, and Dirk was like MVP.
mm-hmm.
And they lost to Steven Jackson and Baron Davis.
Baron.
Oh, that was a 1-8?
Yeah.
That was a 1-8.
They won 67 games, man. It's 1 seed.
And then got put off the court.
Yeah, they jeez. That was surprising. I was like, man.
Was that the same year that Baron emasculated Andre Karolinko?
Was it? That was the same year?
Was it the same year in the second round?
You taught me the second round? Anyway. So I don't want to dive too deep into nostalgia. But
Who you picking?
for Raptors Wizards?
Yeah.
I think the Raptors are going to win, actually, tomorrow. They've been a pretty solid home team all year.
So Raptors
One
in
of the
6?
best, so.
Is that what or you think it's going to go 7?
No, I think they're going to go back to. Come on, man. I think they're going to go back and win in Washington. I'm starting to come around to your kind of way of thinking when it comes to John Wall. I don't think he should be on this team anymore. Like you can keep Bill, but then you have to get somebody that is like.
I wonder if it's because he just thinks he's way better than Beal, even though they might be on par, or maybe he doesn't see him as an equal. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. They just
because I mean you can like and work with them personally, but then it's just like I'm better than you.
Like, I don't know. I just think his style of play.
I wonder if he really thinks that. If that's
his style of play just kind of it doesn't seem like it meshes with the Otto Porter.
Still doesn't have a good jumper.
Yeah.
Still, man.
Well, that's just never going to happen at this point, right?
Probably not.
This is John Wall.
Yeah, John Wall.
You are what you. How long has he been in the league?
Since 2010, right?
Right.
Really, 8 years?
Yeah, he was that draft because Blake Griffin was the draft before him, right? 2009.
But yeah, I mean, I remember hearing the stat of like him in the half court offense, how it just everything just goes down just because of his deficiencies.
Yeah, you talk about ugly teams to watch their offenses. Like that's an ugly offense.
Scotty Brooks special.
Like I'd rather watch the Rockets over that. But anyway, I have Raptors in 6. I feel like I just don't trust. It's 2 teams I don't trust. So I just don't trust the Wizards more. That's what it comes down to.
The lesser of the 2 evils.
Yeah. What that leaves us with the series that I just hate, which is the Pacers
you hate this
and the Cavaliers. Like it's bad basketball on both sides.
They've been pretty entertaining.
Like the Pacers
and
is just like once Oladipo gets trapped and he gives the ball up out of the double team, he doesn't do anything. Like,
that's kind of embarrassing.
I'm like, what is that?
The whole trapping thing is also embarrassing. Like,
and then you're getting trapped by the Cavaliers as well. Like those guys can't recover to save their lives. Like I don't understand.
They're like weak traps too. Like they just kind of like stare at him, and then he backs up to half court, and then they like pound. They kind of pounce.
Main defender.
Yeah, so it's ugly basketball there. Yeah, the Pacers, they continue to play. They play hard and all that stuff. It's just the execution is terrible. And then the Cavs, God. Like, I know Kevin Love can't hold the ball.
You think it's his thumb?
Yeah, like he can't grip the ball.
So that's the other thing I was thinking about.
He's
Kevin
losing
Love.
rebounds. He can't shoot, even though it's on his non-shooting
Do you think it's
hand.
because of the injuries that have piled up that he's... I kind of hate to say it because I think it's kind of mean, but he's soft.
Kevin?
Yes. Like he plays... Because I was watching some YouTube's highlights of him in Minnesota, and he's a completely different player. I don't know if it's a confidence type thing or if it's just because he was younger and healthier.
I think he got tired of being injured.
Because, I mean, he lost a ton of weight now. I mean, now he looks more like a 3-man than he does a 4. But he's just soft. I mean... When he's down low, he's up faking to get foul calls instead of like positioning himself to actually score. Mm. And then the thing that bothers me is he's a shooter, right? Excellent shooter.
Right.
You know, anybody that's a shooter, you want to shoot the ball. If you think you're open, you expect to make it. At least that's how I think. Is like if no one's around me, I want to shoot it. I'm not gonna wait for a defender to show up, pump fake, and then jump into them. He does that all the time, and a couple times it's bit him in the ass and he hurt his shoulder or whatever because there's guys are landing on him. It's like, why didn't you just shoot the 3 if you're shooting over 40%? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why do you need to try to bait these calls? Like,
How long have you been holding on to this one?
A while. Because I notice it all the time. Yeah. He's soft, and I don't know if it's just because of injuries or if it's just a confidence issue of like always being in trade rumors, the pressure of playing with LeBron, being in the limelight, the fame. I mean, there's
the spotlight. I mean,
he came out with his was it depression or whatever the mental health thing?
He gets
panic attacks.
Yeah, panic attacks. So that's probably related. And in Minnesota, he was kind of nobody really paid attention other than he's putting up 20 and 20 and wow, like look how good he is. But now it's like, why isn't Kevin Love carrying the load for LeBron? And why isn't he scoring 20 and getting 20 and 10s?
I think that has to do with things outside of Kevin Love's control. Because
it's tough to
think
watch.
about it. Like now you see it, and it's like, oh, previously when LeBron takes plays off. Mm-hmm. So I forgot who said it, but you can take plays off so you can get your rest in game.
Yeah.
Before, you give the ball to Kyrie, let him dance.
Yeah.
Can't do that now.
Right.
And Kevin Love has been identified as the second guy, right? If he's not coming through on a LeBron team, like that spotlight must be
that sounds
super
like Lou.
bright,
That's on
hot.
Lou to why they
we
aren't.
know Lou ain't coaching, right?
So why they aren't giving him elbow touches, or running through the offense. But
well,
maybe he doesn't
they
want
try
to.
It's just I think it's like you said, he doesn't play the way he used to when they were doing that in Minnesota. So he's not, that physicality part's not there. I feel like he needs that player next to him to feed off of that. So like Tristan Thompson 3 years ago, he was that. So he can kind of feed off of that. Yeah. But now he doesn't have that because he's now at the 5 thanks to Lou's brilliant lineup changes. So
to me, it sounds like he's kind of slid into being like a third banana type guy.
But who's number 2?
Yeah,
well, I know that's the problem is there is no number 2.
Yeah.
Right.
But to me, it seems
which is
like
weird because he was fine
guy.
being the second guy earlier in the season when IT was not there. He was playing great. He was probably the best basketball he played as a Cavalier.
Correct.
Yeah.
But he knew in the back of his mind. I'm talking like I'm in Kevin Love's mind, but essentially he knew he was part of a 3-headed monster. Whether he would be number 2 or number 3 when IT came back, that still remains to be seen. But he knew that he was part of a trio.
And then IT just kind of took the second banana roll,
right,
without even like consulting or anything, and it turned out to be a disaster. And
irrational confidence.
Give me my brother's ball back.
I think the other part to that was once IT actually got traded, Kevin Love got hurt, so he didn't even get a chance to mesh with this new group,
right.
And also this LeBron offense is disgusting, just because like they don't really have any identifiable sets when you watch them.
Everything hinges on Kyle Korver, 37.
Yeah, and so it's like, okay, let's get the ball to LeBron, and then you guys just kind of run around.
Right.
And then
but how's that any different from any other year?
Because they
don't have Kyrie.
Because there's
that's one thing.
Because the hierarchy was clearly defined in years past. Whether it was this Cavs,
except
this
for 2011 when they lost,
this Cavs run. Even when he was back with the Heat, the hierarchy was clearly defined. This particular team, especially with the carousel of players that came in and out around the trade deadline, there is no defined third option. Who's their third option?
Jeff Green.
That's disgusting. We might have to end the show on that one.
Right? Who's their third option? So when you know LeBron's your first option, and just by sheer default, Kevin Love is your second and only other option, to your point, with all the pressure, whether I'm healthy or not, Kevin Love, that's a lot of pressure for me to have to deal with. I could be the number 1 in Minnesota when no one cares. I'll put up 20 and 20 all day. When I lose, no one cares because we're in Minnesota. But I'm playing next to LeBron, and I don't have anyone else to share that second fiddle blame with. It's all on me.
Yeah, but he had that problem with even when Kyrie was there, though. So it wasn't even like second fiddle. It was, well, Kyrie's good, LeBron's good. We got to blame somebody. So it just kind of fell on Love. So I don't know if it's necessarily that.
He probably needs to just be traded or leave because.
Oh, I don't. Now he just can't hold the ball. That's a fundamental issue.
Is that even
for
a possibility
this
now? Because he got the contract. Who's going to take on that contract? And
I'm sure there'll still be teams that
if
would get
they
him.
had pulled the original trigger, it'd be a washed Melo NPG on the Cavs instead of OKC.
Will the Cavs be better? They would, wouldn't they?
They'd be better with PG and LeBron.
PG and Wash Melo.
The defense would still be.
Well, the perimeter defense would be fine.
PG could play defense, but
there's still no rim protection.
None
at all. It's not like they have any now, but
personally, I've liked this series. I like
what? What do you like about it? Other than like they have close games? Like what?
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
It's actually close and competitive.
It's like what 4 point
so
differences?
You watch the last 4 minutes of every game.
I've been watching all of it. I mean, it's crazy because somebody usually jumps up double digits and they always come back.
Yeah, like the only guys on the Cavs that are dependable is like J.R. Smith and the guys that essentially have been there.
I was going to say, Oladipo he hasn't really had a breakout game since the first one, right? Game 1, Oladipo? He hasn't really
not been playing well.
Yeah. I feel like they should have grabbed that last game, but
I take that back. He hasn't been shooting well.
They just weren't making shots.
Yeah.
But
because like Sabonis and Miles Turner were hitting one game, and then what's the boy's name? The LeBron stopper.
Oh, Lance?
No, the other. Damn it, what's his name? White boy. Sorry.
Sabonis?
No.
Austin Crozier clone, Bogdan. Bogdanovic.
Yeah, he had like 7 threes the game before, but like Oladipo has not been up to that game 1 level.
Yeah, I've actually been surprised.
Which might be because of that lazy trapping.
How good Sabonis has been. I've been surprised because he's kind of doing the same stuff he was doing at Gonzaga.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like Pacers are going to win tomorrow in Cleveland?
Yes.
So what happens? Can I watch TV, or is it going to be like nuclear winner?
That's a 3-1 series right now, right?
It's 2-2.
Oh, really?
2-2. So it's another
it's
one of
kind of
those
crazy
who wins
because
game 5
every
wins.
game has kind of been close, right? I gotta look it up.
Well, here's the thing. So Cleveland, they always jump out to like these double-digit leads, and then they lose them. Right? They're essentially early season Philly, I think.
Oh, but Pacers jumped them in game 1, so everything else has been
like they weren't.
pretty close.
Cavs weren't ready in game 1. So essentially, I'm wondering if this is going to follow that same script.
Well, I mean, I don't know why people are kind of surprised that Pacers have been hanging. I mean, the Cavs' defense has been crap. Well, I guess it's been the series has actually not been that bad.
They're the 3rd best defense in the playoffs.
I know,
second.
We've seen it the whole year. They're just not good. But yeah, it's kind of weird that it's flipped. That their offense isn't good, and their defense has been okay.
They're 15th, I think.
But I don't know if it just hinges because Oladipo just isn't making the shots he was before. I don't know.
Seems like there's other guys.
But I will be watching, and I will be picking the Pacers.
It's a TNT game
because I want to see.
Washington Toronto got NBA TV treatment.
So they've split the 4 games because it's 2-2, and I was out of town, so I didn't get to watch every single game. The last game that I got to watch, I thought that Cleveland was like blowing them out, and ended up only winning by like 3.
Yeah. So that's what's happened in their wins, and then they blew game 3. Because the Cavs were up 17, and then Pacers just came back and
won that game.
They won that game.
Yeah, so both Bogdanovic went off for 30.
Teams have won a home and road game essentially.
Yeah, so Cleveland has home court again,
and they've already lost at home.
Game 1, which I don't think will happen again. But again, I hate this series. it's just because of the basketball quality.
You watch it.
It's not good.
I'm
gonna watch it.
The days of LeBron and the Cavs
junkie
jersey
like you guys, but it's just
are running out.
The days of LeBron is running
in a
out.
Cavs jersey.
The blind faith. Oh, okay.
Running out.
Yeah, my blind faith in LeBron is starting to run out here.
Do I have to make a prediction?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I have Cavs in 6. Like I'm no series is going 7.
Pacers in 7.
So I guess because my original was
LeBron's got to kill himself.
My
to get out of the
original
first round.
prediction was Cavs in
crazy.
5, I believe. I predicted the Cavs would win in 5.
Is this his worst team?
No. In his career?
No, I guess since
recently?
he's been going to the finals. So I guess since that 2017.
Damn, I said Cavs in 5.
I think I said that too.
Yeah, I know I said Cavs in 5. So I guess
But is this the worst team that he's had?
I guess worse only in the sense that their major changes happened at the trade deadline, so they didn't have a full season to gel. But from like a talent standpoint, I guess because
whatever standpoint you want to look at it from.
I guess because he doesn't have Kyrie
or Wade.
Yeah, he doesn't have that second alpha.
Damn it, Kevin Love. Gotta get
Kevin
it together.
Love is
man.
not that guy.
Get it together, Kevin Love.
Okay, so right now his starting point guard is Jose Calderon.
To be determined. George Hill had an injury.
I think he's out next game, right?
He was out last game.
He was out last game.
Oh.
I don't know if he's out for game 5. Well, he actually went off, right? One of those games, George Hill. Anyway, doesn't really matter. It's still disgusting basketball.
Slow down. Define go off for George Hill, because that could easily be 11 points.
That's a good ass point. I'm not even going to rebuttal. I'm just going to let you have that one.
Look at the box scores for that.
He was better than a corpse on the side of the road. How about that? Hopefully that paints a description of
13
what type
points.
Of game he had.
Game 3.
See, a corpse would at least get 16.
Someone a backup dancer for Thriller could at least give you 15.
In 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, like
Close to midnight.
it's rough, man. And the other point is like, do I even want Cleveland to advance? 'Cause I'd rather watch Indiana play, but
And the winner of this series gets to play Philly.
Toronto or Washington.
So that whole
Philly's
side,
road to
Right.
the Eastern Conference Final. I'm gonna book my tickets probably tonight to go to Philly to catch the Eastern Conference Finals game because it's. I'm sorry, yeah, Boston's a good team, but they don't. There's no way they have the talent to compete with Simmons and Embiid and Covington and Redick and Saric and Ilyasova and
Trust
Bellinelli.
it.
Like, can they give them one player just to make it even? Give them McConnell or something. Like, I don't know. Give them somebody because this is
like his
I think they can have Rashawn Holmes.
this is like I'm on loan.
Rashawn
like a-
Holmes.
Like, man,
like a YMCA game,
Right.
When only 4 players show
it's
up.
like, nah, you got to run with the other team.
Wait, no, I wanted to play with my own team.
Nah.
Make your pick.
I'm gonna go with Cavs because I originally said Cavs in 5. So if I say anything else, then I'm gonna.
I do want the Pacers to win because I do want all the LeBron speculation to start early. So
It's not speculation. If they lose in the first round, LeBron.
Oh, I know.
Oh, he is gone. Yeah. But
LeBron's
you
on
mean
the
where
next-
he's gonna?
Yeah.
He's on the next episode of House Hunters,
Start the,
looking for a house in Cabo.
looking for open concept.
start the decision too.
All right, man. Let's get the sign wave trade.
Okay. Sign trade wave. You guys know the game. If you don't, it's our version of Smash, Marry, Kill. Of course, we would never smash, marry, and kill basketball players because that would be weird. But we can sign, trade, and waive them. This sign, trade, and waive will be a first-round playoff performance exclusive sign, trade, waive. So the players that we're having to pick from, we need to isolate anything we know about these players and just focus on how they've been playing this year's playoffs. You want me to start top to bottom or go bottom to top in terms of talent?
This is your show, man.
I'm gonna do a little different because I normally start top to bottom, so I'm gonna do bottom to top. So, Fong, you have the luxury of signing, trading, and waiving one of these 3 bigs: Thon Maker, Jonas Valanciunas, and Marcin Gortat, whom you love because he's part of the starting 5 of the Wizards.
Thon Maker,
That's terrible.
Morcine,
Well,
Gortat.
it's pronounced Makur, so I'm signing Thon because he can shoot threes and guard all 5 positions.
He's like 31 years old, though. Anyway.
And then I'm trading Jonas because he's younger than Gortat, and I'm waiving Gortat.
All right.
We waved a wizard, huh? I
Yeah,
think you're able to do it.
he's also old too.
I found that all of these players that I picked are in the top 5 of some statistical category, whether it's rebounds, points.
A positive category?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Rebounds, points, blocks, assists, free throw, something. They're in the top 5 of at least one of them. Thon Maker, I believe, is in the top 5 for blocks. Valanciunas, I spoke to it. He leads the league in field goal percentage in the playoffs. Gortat, I can't remember what his stat was, but it doesn't matter because Fong cut him. So, Willis, you get to sign, trade, and or waive Rajon Rondo, Derrick Rose, or Kyle Lowry.
Bye, Derek. See you later. So who are my other ones? Rajon Rondo and Kyle.
or Kyle Lowry.
I'm trading Kyle and I'm signing
You're
Rondo.
giving a max to Rajon Rondo.
Yeah, the way he's been playing, you said I had to keep
I know.
it.
He
In these playoffs, right?
These playoffs. He leads the league in assists per game.
Bye, Derek.
Maxing the guy.
We
that
will
averages,
send you
like,
your stuff.
How many points is he averaging? Like
Get
8
out of the
points?
locker room,
I
sir.
don't know. I really don't know. But the next sign trade
Trying
wave
to
is
tell
on
me
you.
that Derrick Rose is balling. Get out of here.
All right, Fong. Mike Scott. DeJounte Murray. James Johnson.
Oh, easy. Max and DeJounte, UW guy, youngest. Who's the first one? Mike Scott.
Mike Scott.
Oh, He's getting waived.
So you now have waived 2 of your Wizards.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you're trading James Johnson.
Yeah. I wouldn't have the heart to tell James that I'm waiving him and he'd
Yeah, that's not
whoop me with his black
just for
belt.
survival. That's not. You don't want that static.
Yeah.
So.
Who's been going at him? Him and somebody who's been beefing in this series. It was
Ben Simmons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simmons. He got into it with Bellinelli and JJ today, where he kind of just fouled both of them and pushed both of them into the stands.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It was pretty funny. I mean, he didn't really push them. He more just fell into him, and he's also like 6'9".
right.
But he
okay.
kind of like smacked JJ in the head and then just laid on top of Bellinelli.
I did see him smack.
Yeah.
He just like blatantly smacked him.
Well, Dragic is the one that straight up smacked Ben Simmons in the back of the head. Did you
Oh,
guys
I
watch
saw
that?
part, yeah. I was like, what is he doing? What are they calling him? Just
technical.
Like, technical.
Yeah.
All right.
Personal foul and technical.
That's hilarious.
All right, it's on you. It's on you, Willis. You have to sign, trade, or waive Josh Richardson, Jay Crowder, or Nikola Mirotic.
Or what? So Mirotic, Crowder, and who's the third?
Josh Richardson.
Josh Richardson.
I'm waving Crowder. He's not who he used to be. Is this Mirotic shaved or is it beard?
Yes, because his current
This
playoffs.
is just for the first
And I'm
round.
signing Mirotic and trading.
Josh Richardson
Richardson.
had 7 steals in 1 game already.
Richardson is a great defensive player.
He is, but he's not shaved Mirotic.
He's he's like the poor man's Avery Bradley. He might even be a poor man's. He might be comparable to him. Now I think about him.
I think he could score better than Bradley, don't you think?
I think Bradley's slightly better, but then he went to
Well,
he went to the wasteland in Detroit,
Yeah,
and I kind of ignored
I feel
him.
bad for him. So.
And then went to the Clippers, right?
But he had that
Play.
Brad Stevens bump too. So
All right, Fong, back on you.
So did Crowder.
yeah, I know.
You have to
So I
sign
can't
one,
trust that
trade
guy.
one, wave one. Clint Capella, Joel Embiid,
Oh, come
Oh,
on.
wow.
and Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh, you just had to throw Cat in there.
Got him. Knew that
Oh,
was coming.
You thought it was going to be easy.
Got him.
I will definitely have Max and Embiid because I'm a process follower. Trading Cat because he's got high value. Well, yeah, he still has high value.
In this playoffs?
And then what's the third one?
Clint Capella.
I'm waving Capella. He's he's dependent on James Harden. When have we ever seen him dribble? Have you ever seen him dribble? Do you know what he looks like when he dribbles a basketball? I don't.
So if you were ever had the luxury to actually have the exit interview conversation, those are the questions that I want you to ask Clint Capella.
Yes. I'd be like, I give him a ball and I ask him to dribble.
When do you
from
dribble?
one end of the court to the other end of the court?
You want to know why you're out of here? Here, get that
Right.
ball. I want you to walk from over there, and I want you to dribble to right there.
Yeah.
Go. As soon as he drops the ball. See? That's why you're out of here.
Yeah, he's like one of those barnacles on that feast on the side of a whale. James Harden's a whale. So
Is that on the scouting report?
I didn't expect
He's the
To hear a
barnacle on the
player-
side of a whale.
referred to as a barnacle. That's a first.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Wow.
Okay.
sorry, Capella.
I don't know how I'm going to
Yeah,
follow that
it's-
one up. Yikes.
Yeah, I hate to say goodbye to Cat, but he's not ready.
Well,
I'll
not
trade
just Iverson step over the barnacle scouting report. Yikes. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. This
Wow.
is so funny. All right. Willis is back to you. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant. Sign one, trade one, wave one.
Shit. God. Jesus.
This one's way harder than mine.
Yes, extremely hard. Well, if it's just this playoffs, fuck. Man. I think I'm waving KD no matter what.
Whoa! Only one of these guys is over 30.
We're just talking about this playoffs, though, right?
Yeah.
It's just in the scope of these playoffs.
I mean, all you have, the only
Because
book of work-
KD or LeBron and AD are playing better than KD up to this point.
These are facts.
Okay.
So yeah, KD. his exit interview, he'll probably get a brush from me. Go ahead and brush your hair real quick before you leave, so you look fine on the conference that you have to do.
You guys have weird exit interviews.
Said I have a brush.
Yeah, so KD's waived. Oh my gosh.
Who are you trading? And then who are you giving $2 million?
I'm signing 80, and I'm trading LeBron.
Oh my!
Yeah, I think I got it. 80's playing better both ways. He's playing defense, and offensively, he's contributing more. That's a hard one, then. Man.
I know that's really hard.
Wow.
I was honestly thinking I would waive LeBron just because he's older, and I don't think he's killing himself in this first round.
But KD,
I know he's on the Super Friends, so
KD hasn't really. Between those three guys,
you want to be the GM that waves LeBron.
I'll be the GM that trades LeBron. Give me some pieces to surround AD.
That's a tough one.
Let's get this chip.
Oh my goodness, man! That's
That
fine.
one
Yeah, but you
sucks,
waive it.
man.
You could waive KD or Anthony Davis.
If someone said, "Why did you waive KD?" and I said, "Because I signed LeBron," they would understand.
You don't think they understand AD in this playoffs? He's been the best player.
I agree with you. AD is leading the league in scoring. He's top 5 in rebounds and blocks.
Yeah, I guess you can see
Carl,
KD.
what do you think, man? Yeah,
That's a tough one.
that's
He
a tough
said,
one.
"My name is Bennett."
We might have to do a poll or something on Facebook.
Yeah, let's do
We'll
it.
have to do that because that's probably gonna get massacred anyway for my own picks. How you gonna trade LeBron? You a bum ass dude anyway.
What about Kobe? Somebody's gonna bring up Kobe. Watch.
Anyway, I think that's we can call it.
We can.
It is we are 2 minutes away from midnight. Good job, guys. Mr. Aaron Fong, shout outs.
God, I never have any shout outs, even though I know it's coming.
You know the trap's coming.
I don't know. I don't really have anything.
All right.
I've just been, work's been killing me.
No one wants to hear that, man.
I know.
That's
the
not
day
what they come
job
on
is
this.
killing me. But no, shout out to the guys that can make it. I don't think we've ever had a full house, a full team.
Never.
Full squad.
Never had a full house.
Though it'd probably get super hot in here with
It's
all of
already
us.
super hot in here.
So, yeah, shout out to those guys. And everybody just try to watch as much basketball as you can.
Yes, sir. Mr. Peterson.
For sure.
Shout outs.
First and foremost, the shout outs I always give is to our fans, our listeners, our supporters. If you are now watching, that's right, watching HoopSmack on YouTube, we thank you. Please share, subscribe, same thing that I've always said, share, subscribe, comment, interact with us. By all means, spread the joy. If you are addicted to hoop, you're not addicted by yourself. So tell a friend. Aside from that, obviously to echo the sentiments that Fong just said, shout out to Ben, Miles, and Tay in their absence. HoopSmack squad. Imagine if I never met the Broskis. Shout out to Drake. I don't know where HoopSmack would be without our brethren, so shout out to them. Shout out to me. Can I shout myself out real quick?
You sure can. These are your shout outs.
Okay. Hey, man, listen. I just got back from a business trip from the day job, and the working day before, I got promoted. And your boy's moving on up.
Congratulations.
So, shout out to me, because I've been working hard, damn it.
Getting called up from the G League.
Yeah. My two-way contract is finally converted. I feel like Quinn Cook. I've been walking in the office all week like, yo, I got a contract. It's like, no, got a promotion. It's definitely timely. For those who don't know, I'm also expecting, I think I made mention to that earlier in the show, I'm expecting a third child, and so this job will allow me to be home with the baby and with wifey as she recovers when we do have the baby this summer.
Is it an August baby?
It is an August baby.
The best.
Oh,
Continue.
yeah. I agree. I'm an August baby myself. It doesn't really help my financial situation. It wasn't really great planning on our behalf. My wife's birthday is in August. Mine's in August. Our anniversary is in August. The 2 older boys are both in September. Summer sucks for me.
Damn.
Yeah.
You got Christmas right around the corner.
But here's the thing. I look forward to Christmas. Like, that's a breeze compared to the summer. That's a breeze. Oh, and I got school shopping to deal with in August. Yeah, summer sucks financially, but it's all good. I got a promotion to kind of deal with that. Get to work from home a whole lot more. Obviously, more responsibility. Your boy's going to be traveling, so I may be having to do these podcasts like from a remote location like Stephen A. does when he's yelling at Max Keller. But, I'm just excited about the new ventures and what it means for not only the Peterson household, but the HoopSmack family as well.
Again, congrats, sir, on your day job success. I will not be talking about my day job in any capacity. So, no, don't have to worry about that shout out. But, shout out to the team. Hopefully at one point we'll get all six of us. Yeah, six of us. Get Carl on the other side of the camera, make an appearance at some point. But you can download episode 75 on Apple Podcasts and Spotify or your favorite podcast directory. You can also download it directly from hoopsmack.com. Just look for episode 75 on the site. But that's it. So, peace.
Trust the process.
All right, y'all.